coming to the first issue, which is whether the technology deployed by the IEBC for the conduct of the 2022 general elections met the standards of integrity, verifiability, security, and transparency to guarantee accurate and verifiable results. I will take a few moments to demonstrate how the technology that was deployed in the just concluded elections then met those constitutional imperatives. As a starting point, my ladies and my lords, we may want to ask ourselves, what exactly is this technology that we are talking about? And in answering that question, perhaps a bit of context would be of help. In the period just before the 2007 elections, when we still were dealing with the defunct Electoral Commission of Kenya, the legislative provision then, the equivalent to our Section 44, was worded in very loose, perhaps permissive terms. It was that to the effect that the Electoral Commission shall use technology where applicable or as may be appropriate. After the 2007 elections, we had the Kriegler recommendations, which then, one of which was that we must employ, or we should employ, the use of technology in our elections. When we got to the 2013 general elections, there was a good attempt at using technology, but the various forms of technology that were used were not were in different platforms, so that there was a different platform for purposes of registration, a different platform for purposes of identification, and a different platform for purposes of transmission. That did not work very well, perhaps because of the inefficiency attendant to the system then. Came the amendments in 2011 to Section 44, which required then that the technology to be employed was one to be integrated, meaning that in that one solution, we had the option for voter registration, which is biometrics. The second was electronic identification of voters and electronic transmission of results. Now, the question that we have before you today is whether, as conceptualized, that solution then meets the constitutional imperatives under Article 86 of integrity, verifiability, security, transparency, and accuracy. I will take a moment to just demonstrate how each of these would have been achieved. But when you retire, though, to consider the decision, I would invite your attention to specifically the affidavit of Michael Lohuma, who sets out in a very granular sense how these imperatives were met. I then would want to talk, that is specifically paragraph 39 to 49 of the affidavit of Michael Lohuma. I then would want to talk a bit to the process entailed in those three items. And I'm sure we are most of us are familiar, those of us who have participated in elections are familiar with that process. That once the voting has been done and the polling station has been converted for to the evening now for purposes of tallying and counting of results, we start by the counting in a very transparent manner. The presiding officers count each and every ballot, and I'm sure we've witnessed this, showing a vote for Gumbo, a vote for so-and-so, and a vote for so-and-so. Now, at the end of that process, they are then tabulated to give us Form 34A. How then is technology infused in Form 34A? Form 34A has internally identified security features. There are 8 in number. We have watermarks, we have UV potentials, we have microtext, amongst other security features. What is the significance of this? It is so that when somebody looks at the Form 13